Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogibhi Dhyanagamyam Bande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Today we will study the Rudra Gita. It's a very special part of the Bhagavatam. Now, the great King Prithu, about whom we have already studied, then he passed away. Then afterwards, his son Vijitasya, Ashya means the horse, Bijita, he conquered. So that means he was very famous in capturing the horses. What does that mean? That in previously, the kings, they used to release their horse and they will go following the horse. In whatever places the horse will go, that place belongs to him. So he was that type of king who had a tremendous power. So Vijitasya. This Vijitasya became the king. But now when we read this Bhagavata, the most of the characters that we are come across, we are meeting here, we find that mostly they are spiritual. They love spirituality. They like to go to solitude. They like to meditate. They're totally different type of temperament, mentality. Nowadays it is exactly opposite. So much of physical and the temperament and the mentality all coming towards the physics only. And that is the reason we find the different type of incidents happening all around which we cannot appreciate as a human being doing it. So why? Because the mentality changed. The human being is nothing but his thoughts. If you are thinking in a positive way, it's a good person, you are a good person. The negative, naturally, you are a bad person. So here we find the Vijitasya. He became the king, and then he distributed his kingdom to his 4 brothers. He was the supreme king, but he asked his brothers to rule the east, west, north and south. The eastern part, Hariyaksha is another brother. Hariyaksha, he was ruling the eastern part. Then Brika means the more powerful. Brikodara, that Brika, he was given to the western part. Eastern, western, northern was the Dravina, and the southern was the Dhumrakesha. These are the 4 brothers they were ruling. Why we are reading this? What is the importance? Because this is a history. The scripture that we are reading, most of the part teaching us how to develop our mind, our thought, the physical thing, so that slowly we can go to the highest goal, that Atman. Physically also we should be pure, mentally we should be pure. And how it is possible, that training is there. At the same time, it is Itihasha. Itihasha means the stories of the kings and the kingdoms. So very nicely, categorically, all the explanations are there. And this king Vijitasya, he was not an ordinary person as we were we have already heard, his another name was Antardhana. Antardhana means he had the capacity to hide, to completely, this boon he got from the Indra, that he could suddenly makes himself completely hiding from the sight of the others. Some yogic capacity he was having. So that yogic capacity he used to use sometimes to go and see how the people are there, subjects are there. So he used to go around incognito, and in such a way the people could not recognize him. So he was named as Antardhana. Now he had two wives. One is Shikhandini. So Shikhandini had three sons. Another Navatswati. The Navatswati only one son, and his name was Havidhyana. This Havidhyana, we must remember this name because we are going to follow the Havidhyana. The other three sons, they were good people, but we are not coming in these pages of the history, they are not mentioned. This Havidhyana, and he was having Barhishad. The Barhishad and other five sons were there. Prachin Barhi, the name was Barhishad. He had a very famous son. Havidhyana had a very famous son, is Barhishad. Another name of that was Prachin Barhi. Why? Because this Barhishad, he was very perfect in arranging the homa. See, the social picture is slowly coming. Previously, it was only the meditation and the thought. And slowly, they understood that ordinary people cannot take part into it. The rishis, they are intellectual people, they are sitting in one corner of the place and then meditating and getting great joy within. But what the ordinary people will do? So they developed the homa. Homa means lighting the fire, and slowly that developed in such an elaborate way. And in present days, and we can understand, it is impossible for ordinary people to perform that directly. So they are hiring some people that becomes Purohita. So that goes on. The complicacy in religion. Here this Barhishad, they said he has almost covered the whole world. Not that the world, the conception now we are having. The country is a vast country. He used to visit almost in all parts and used to perform the yajna. So he was given the name Barhishad or Prachin Barhi. And this Barhishad and his wife Shatadruti had 10 sons. And these 10 sons were the same name, and they looked same, character also same. So people used to call them, all the 10 sons, in one name, Pracheta. The 10 sons were not having different names, as because they were so similar in everything. So only one name was given for all the 10 sons. They were Prachetas. Now this slowly the Barhishad and his sons, we can say 10 sons, these Prachetas, these 10 brothers were, each of them very pious and pure. And they practiced severe austerity for a long period of time. Look at it. When every character that we are meeting, most of them, they are very much interested to practice the spirituality. What is the spirituality? What is the practice of spirituality? We always talk about this. What is the practice of spirituality? Controlling the senses and nothing else. controlling the senses in whatever manner you can, not by using the narcotics and all. Sometimes some people, they'll smoke and they'll be forgetting the whole all around. No, that is not. But by controlling your senses. How you can control your senses? By controlling your mind. How you can control your mind? Step by step. By controlling your thoughts. And how you can control your thoughts? By not connecting with those which are disturbing you. So that's why they always say satsanga, sadhu sangha, holy company. Why? Because the thoughts will be good. Visit the pilgrimages, visit the holy places. Why? Because the thoughts will be good. Eating also in a controlled way. Why? Your thoughts will be good. So all this goes to the mind. Mind becomes purified because it is not contaminated with the worldly thoughts, which are all selfish and connected with the physical body. And slowly, it goes in that way. They practice that, the controlling of the senses for a long time. Their mind became very pure. And when the mind becomes purified, very pure, they become just like the child, the grown-up people. But simple like a child. No ego. So these 10 brothers, then their father told Prachin Barhi, you better go and practice more the spirituality so that you can realize the Brahman, the Atman. So the highest goal is to realize the Atman, the Brahman. These 10 brothers, then they started going towards the ocean. When they were going towards the ocean, they found a beautiful lake, huge lake. And they were thinking, why not sit over here? Because the drinking water is there. In those days, naturally, wherever you go, the first concern is the water. If you don't have the drinking water, then how can you stay? So they thought this will be the good place. When they were thinking to stay, suddenly they heard the beautiful music, and some people are singing, and the joy of merriment from somewhere it is coming. And very wonderful fragrance, the smell. And they were wondering what is going to happen, what is happening. Suddenly they found then the Shiva, the Rudra, he is coming up from that water. The Rudra is coming out of that water. So the Indian problem is, always they will use some words that you have to understand the meaning of it. Otherwise it is very difficult. No one can live inside the water, right? So how the Rudra is coming, why he is coming out of the water? Indication is, water is formless. And from that formless, the great God taking the form of Sri Rudra. Sri Rudra means the Shiva. And the Shiva is auspicious. Why? He is completely free from ego. So this Shiva is coming up, and now this Vidura, the famous character of Mahabharata, when we were discussing the Mahabharata, you know the famous character of Mahabharata, Vidura, he is asking Maitreya, because these two they were conversing. Maitreya, who visited all this thing, went back and giving the report, and Vidura told, can you please tell me the stories? So he was asking the Maitreya, and Vidura said to Maitreya, Sangama khalu viparshe shivena iha sharirinam durlava munayo dadhu asangat yam apipshitam. So this is the 4th book, 24th chapter, 18 verse of the Bhagavata. He says, embodied being, Sharirinam, one who is having the body, cannot contact, Sangama Khalu, cannot contact Sri Rudra. the Shiva, who is the purity. How it is possible? Hey Maharshi, hey Maharishi, Viprashi, that you are a great sage. Can you please tell me how it is possible? Then he is mentioning even the great rishis who are completely dedicated to know all these things, and they so much they wish to communicate, to see the vision of Shiva. They cannot. How these 10 brothers could do it? They came and they were not meditating on Shiva. How Shiva himself came before them. That means they were really, really very, very pure. So practice meditation, Dadhu. Dadhu means meditation. This Sanskrit terminologies is a little difficult because they use different terms in different places to mean different things. So this is the way. Why it is so difficult to see Sri Rudra? Shiva or Sri Rudra is the purity itself. An impure mind cannot naturally see it. It's just the light and the darkness. The darkness cannot see the light. The moment the darkness sees the light, it becomes light. When the light is coming in the darkness, there is no darkness. And when there is darkness, there is no light. So purity and impurity is just like that. Again, brothers, what is this purity? What is this impurity? In all the religions, again and again, these words are used. And most of us, we are confused. We do not know what is purity. And then what we do? We think that we should eat properly, so that is purity. In the right time, that is purity. From the right hand, some people, that is purity. And the water also from some of the rivers, that is purity. No, it is not. The conception of purity, that is very wonderfully given by Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He started his life in a very, very, in a Brahmanical way. He never touched anything. And slowly, he showed that is not purity. You can start from there. Very conservative. Not touching anyone, not this food, not that food, not this water, not that water, not this time, not that time, all these things. But ultimately, this Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in Calcutta, he told, can you please bring a glass of water from me? He was a Brahmin. Remember it, in the 19th century it was really, really difficult for a Brahmin drinking water from a glass touched by others. It is impossible. You cannot imagine the conservativeness of in those days Brahmanas. And he did it on purpose in Calcutta. And there was a restaurant. That is, water is there. Why don't you go and bring the water from there? Only see the glass is nicely clean, hygienic, that's all. Why? The purity. What is that purity? Unselfishness. Purity is love. Again and again I say this, the Shiva is full of love and full of unselfishness. And that's why in the description that I have not read over here, when the Shiva is coming up, when they are giving the description of the Shiva, the first word they used, that you can see his throat is the blue because he drank the venom. Why? Because he wanted to save the humanity. You know that story. But not that. It is not that they were churning the ocean and the ambrosia that came and also the venom came. Not like that. The venom means ahamkara. Venom means ego. The Shiva is holding over here. It has not gone to the heart. He is completely free. That capacity he was having. So all symbolic. This Shiva, he appeared before them completely free from eye sense. And wherever there is I, there is ego. And ego is the cause of the separation from God. So hence, Sharirinam, anyone who is having the body consciousness, naturally having I consciousness. And when having the I, there is an ego, more or less. But that he cannot have the darshana of the Shiva. You have to be completely free. That's why Swami Vivekananda, who was the embodiment of the Shiva, he took that human form, and Sri Ramakrishna, he told that you have to work for the humanity and you are completely unselfish. You have to do this. You must go. But a time will come when you will realize who truly you are. And afterwards, those who have read the biography of Swami Vivekananda, he went to Kashmir and had the darshan of the Shiva and immediately realized that he was Shiva. From then onwards, he said, no more. Now I am withdrawn. I am waiting for the last day. No more work. So that Shiva conception, the purity, unselfishness and contemplation, full of joy. This is the Shiva, this is the Rudra. And here, that Rudra is meeting, and physically he has come and he is meeting the sons of the Varhishad, Vyuyam Bedishada Putra Viditam. And he said, I know that you are the son of the Varhishad. Varhishad was also a very pure person. So you and you all, Bedishada Putra, is the sons of the Varhishad, Viditam. I know that. So I made you because I know you are fit to receive the highest spiritual advices. Then the Rudra said, Yah Param Rahasa Sakshat Trigunat Jiva Sangitat Bhagavantam Vasudevam Prapanya Sa Priyo Hime. Vasudeva, who is telling? Shiva. About whom? Krishna. Vasudeva. This is very interesting. And from here we find how the two great movements coming together. And this is the beauty of the India. Whenever there are some differences are coming, something will happen. Samannaya, they will come and meet together and they will become one. Shiva clan, Shaivite clan are very strong. And Vaishnavas were also very strong, and they were gaining the grounds day by day. So naturally there was conflict. Now here the Shiva and the Vishnu or the Vasudeva, Krishna, they are becoming one. How? Krishna is great. Who is telling? Shiva. So naturally the follower of Shiva cannot denounce the Krishna. So Shiva is telling, one who dedicate completely to realize Vasudeva, the controller of the subtle Prakriti and Purusha, become very dear to me. Now these brothers, they were asked by their father to go and realize the highest knowledge, Brahman. And they were going for that. In between on the way, Shiva met them. And Shiva told that you are going to realize the Vasudeva. He never mentioned the Brahman, he mentioned Vasudeva. And that's why I like you. I like you all. Why? Yah Param Rahasa Sakshat Trigunat Jiva Sangitat. Because those who are trying to understand the Prakriti and the Purusha. What is the Prakriti and the Purusha? So you have to understand the Hinduism, the Purusha means consciousness. And the Prakriti, the power of that consciousness. And what is happening with that? All this creation. So the creation is Prakriti. We have already studied that. Those who are regularly attending, you know that. The Prakriti means the creation. And who is creating it? The consciousness. How he is doing it? Through its power. And the power and the person who is holding the power are inseparable. So the Prakriti and the Purusha, that you are going to understand, and that is Vasudeva. He didn't mention Brahman. Why? Now, introducing Dvaita, that Brahman, which is consciousness, which is all-pervading, not having any form, here, now, taking a human form, and that is Vasudeva. Atha Bhagavata Yuyam Priyastha Bhagavan Yatha. So you being the devotee of Vishnu are as dear to me as the Bhagavan himself. The devotee and the God both are very dear to me, because you know that this is the uniqueness. We love Sri Ramakrishna. And whoever talks about Sri Ramakrishna, visit the temple of Sri Ramakrishna, we also love them. The same way the Rudra, he is telling, I love those who loves Vasudeva. Why? The Vasudeva is nothing but the Brahman himself. That same Brahman which is the Prakriti and the Purusha. So I love those because you are going to get the highest knowledge. In the next line of the same verse, 30th, Sri Rudra is telling another sentence. This is also very interesting. First he said, I appreciate you because you have come to realize the Brahman which is Vasudeva. And now this Vasudeva is having the power of the Prakriti and also the consciousness. I like those who loves Vasudeva. How I like? Like the God. As I like the God, the same way I like those who love God. This is the standard. Second line, he is telling, Na mat bhagavata nancha prayan anya asti karichit. You know, those who are devoted to Vasudeva, they like me too, and no one else. So from here we can understand verse 28, 29, 30, 31, all are the indication of the combination of the two great movements, Vaishnava and the Shaiva. The Shaivites, they are so powerful all over the India. If you go to the Kashmir, all Shaivites. And you go to the south, Shaivites. North, east, south, west, everywhere. At the same time you will find the Vaishnavas. Now you think, if these two great forces, if they used to collide all the time, what would have been the society? So the great rishis, they told in wonderful way, what is Shiva is nothing but the Vishnu. And the Vishnu means the present Vasudeva, Krishna. And the same both, the Rudra or Shiva, Vishnu or the Vasudeva, they are all Brahman, ultimately. So that way, the wonderful way, they are making it. You know, here the Shaiva and Vaishnava, there's a great war that took place. And that is a story most of the Indians and many now the Western world they know, that the father of the Parvati, Durga, he was organizing a program, huge program. There, he didn't invite the Shiva, the husband of his beloved daughter. Why? You know that in the society, the girl's father was a king. Now the princess and the most beautiful and father is to love her so much, she married Shiva. And Shiva was not accepted in the high society. Vishnu was accepted as a high society, and Agni and all other devas, they were all in the high society. So naturally they were not allowed in that. So how to do it? What happened? There was from the Ganga, same Ganga, a little portion of the Ganga is coming inside. There the Shiva came to bathe, far away. And the ladies from this house, they too came to bathe in the same pond. And this young lady saw Shiva. Shiva was very, very fair complex, as if like the snow. They say just like the white, like a snow. Shiva was like that, matted hair, huge body, wonderful personality. So these young girls, he told, who is that person? It was Shiva. I like to marry him. It was they were free to choose their husbands. So now the parents, naturally we can understand, they were going on telling, he is not having any kingdom, he is not a king, not having any money, no social status, how can you marry him? Father became very angry and all things were happening. When the father became angry, the other sisters also started avoiding this girl. And she was adamant, no, I am going to marry. Love, naturally. So she went and married the Shiva. Shiva told, see, I don't have any house. I live here, there, everywhere. I don't have a regular income also. Whatever the people bring, that I eat. And sometimes, and most of the time, I meditate. I don't care about this world. Will you be able to continue with me? Shiva was very genuine, telling the girl. They married, they went, they started leaving. But the father felt very much insulted. How is it? This fellow, anyway, my daughter has married, he should have come and touched my feet. Pay the respect to me, because I am the king, Prajapati. Prajapati means the king. He became very angry. And then other friends also told, you invite all great people and have some program over here. Don't invite that man, so he'll be feeling insulted. The mother, she told, don't do it. My daughter will suffer. But anyway, that was happened. And the daughter told, my father loves me so much. If I go and say that I have come, father will surely accept you. Sometimes you know that the father and the husband, they are not going properly, so the daughter will somehow do in a nice way. Just now, while I was taking the breakfast, I was observing watching what's called the news, and there is one advertisement. A girl was having a boyfriend inside the room. Suddenly the father came. The boy was hiding behind the door. But in the meantime, the cell phone started ringing. The father told, who is here? And he found the boy. But the boy was holding the cell phone. It is so attractive. The father forgot that unknown boy, how could he come over here? He was very happy, so purchased that type of cell phone. So this is the ultimate message. So here we find that the daughter came, the father was not agreeing and insulting again and again. It was impossible for the daughter because she was very devoted to the husband and she knew who Shiva is. So naturally she felt insulted and she committed suicide. That news came and Shiva Tandava, Shiva then, who was the embodiment of peace, became Rudra, angry. And he started sending all his retinues, all his soldiers, and tremendous yogic power. All descriptions are there. They came and they killed each and every one. All the gods, they were running here and there. It was impossible for them to fight against the brutal forces. Then ultimately, all these things quenched. Why? Because the Vishnu came and told Shiva, see, we cannot go without this king. You please help somehow. The Shiva, all is kind-hearted, he said, okay, what to do? And your person has already cut the head of that man. So somehow you have to give the life. And I need him. And what he did, he not only cut the head of that Prajapati, he threw it in the fire. So it was already burned. So nothing was available. So they brought the goats for the sacrifice. One head of that goat was there. So he put the Chagamunda. So Prajapati was having, so you are a Prajapati, but your ideas are just like a goat. So that was the idea. But all these things happened. That gives, but it gives in such a way people read is a spiritual story. No, it's a social story. Social picture is all the two groups colliding. Then afterwards, what happened? The same plot of water, the branch of the Ganga, it is Ganga itself, just came inside. The same place has been termed as that Har Ki Pauri. In Hindi they say Har. Har means Shiva. Hara. Hara means the Shiva. Shiva's pond, Har Ki Pauri. And at the same time, Haridwar. This is the door of the Hari, the Vishnu. See how they are coming in closely. Shiva and the Vaishnava. Ram, he was the Vaishnava. He was the avatar of the Vishnu. But when he was going to fight against the Ravana, who was the disciple of the Shiva, Ram knew, I won't be able to fight. So the Narada, through Brahma actually, through Narada, sent a message to Ramachandra, you have to worship Durga, the power of the Shiva. And through Durga, you have to please the Shiva. Otherwise it is impossible. The Rama, he worshipped Durga. Why? Because to appease the Shiva. Then the Shiva told, okay, comparing with Rama and Ravana, Ravana is bad, so let him be defeated. But power, it is coming. That the story goes in a wonderful way. But we miss the social condition in those days. That's why I always say, we talk about the spirituality, about the religion, but we forget the history, the sociology of the then society. Unless and until you understand the society, how this harmony is coming again and again. The two forces, they grew up. But naturally the human mind is that this is our temple, this is our shrine, this is our church, and you have come from outside, okay, I can show you this, but don't ever criticize about us. Then always we feel, our devotees also always think, why they have come and criticize us? They have come as a guest, okay, but they should not say anything about our church. And when you go over there, those people are also, and oh, good that you have come. Like that it goes. Always we have the small clothes. All belong to us because it belongs to Sri Ramakrishna. It's very, very difficult to realize. Even the monks also don't think, Acha, your asrama is good. Your asrama? This is my asrama? But they always, it's a human psychology, they always become narrow-minded. Here also, the Shaiva and Vaishnava, they were separated, and the Bhagavata is bringing them closer, and they say that this is the blessings. Now the verse 23 to 79, I am not going to read all the verses, I'll just give the gist. Of the 24th chapter, Shiva, known also as the Rudra, revealing the true nature of the Vishnu to the Pracheta brothers. And this is known as Rudra Gita. Gita means explanation. It's a Gita means the song. So he is singing the glory of the Vishnu. Who? Rudra. So Rudra Gita. In the beginning it says, O Lord, victory unto thee. In all these verses, from 33 to 79, he is beginning with the salutation to thee. O Lord, victory unto thee. I am announcing your qualities. Is the Brahman. Brahman cannot have the qualities. The moment you have the quality, you are finite. You cannot be infinite. But that is why in the beginning of the verse, this is the subtle point that one should note. They will never make mistake. I am giving the quality, announcing the quality, describing the qualities. Does it mean that he is not true God? He is not Brahman? In the beginning itself, he is telling, I am announcing your qualities so that the great knowers of Brahman realize the bliss in Atman. Why I am giving you the description of the qualities? Not that you are not Brahman, not that you are bound by this quality, only because unless and until I say like that, they won't get the joy, the bliss of Brahman. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling there are two types of the flutes are there. One type of flute, only same tune they will go on playing, boom, like that, no changes. Another type of flutes are there, sitting by the side of that, they will go on playing on the the holes. So Sare Gama Pada Ni nicely they will play, and people enjoy that. That is also sound. Om Omkara Dhani. No, this or that. So some people, they constantly listen to that and they are merging that, but other people after some time, this is a little boring. Say anything else? then they will sing the same, what else is there? Shabda, the sound, means Omkara. The same Omkara, same Shabda, same sound, now they are playing in 7 tunes. And the beautiful songs, and you feel joy in that. So the Shiva is telling, I know, O Vishnu, you are nothing but Brahman. But the Brahman, without epithet, without qualities, that is the different. But these people won't understand that. I don't like that they should be dry. They should have the love. They should have the joy. They should express their feelings. So he is giving the epithet, and thou art the self-fulfilled. Still you are supporting the creation, controlling the Prakriti, the creative power of God. You are self-fulfilled, nothing about that. But at the same time, you want that people should come and give the presentation to you. See how the social things happen. This 24th December is approaching, the Christmas tree, a conception has come. Jesus never knew about this tree. Jesus never knew about the gift. Jesus only knew about the Father in the heaven. And he again and again told people, you must also know the Father in the heaven. But then the people thought, only Father in the heaven, that's okay, but little boring. Acha, let us place a tree, and the tree should be decorated, and the top of it there should be a star. The people should remember that is the highest point, but below you should keep some gift for your friends. And the friends will come, do you think the religion introduced that? No. Do you think the founder of the religion, he introduced or she introduced? No. Who introduced it? Automatically then the social body, it comes and it becomes part and parcel of the religion. Isn't it? The same way, people like it. And for the people, the God is also taking different form. So here, the Shiva is telling, I know that you are self-fulfilled. You don't need anything. But for the joy of the others, your creation, you have created, and you are in different names and forms, you are enjoying. So you are coming and Vasudevaya, Shantaya, Kutasthaya, Sarochise, Namaha, Shankarshanaya, Sukshmaya, Durantaya, Antakaya cha, Namaha. Here the Nama means, they will begin with, in this way, they call Putita, Nama. This is humbleness. And this too is giving as a sandwiched with so many wonderful qualities. What is that? To you who has taken the form as the Vasudeva, Vasudevaya. To you who has taken the form as the Vasudeva, who is Shantaya, peaceful. Who can be peaceful? Who is not having any desire. So only one word he has used, but explained the whole religion. If you have the desire, any type of desire, your mind can never become tranquil. Any type of desire. And so Shantaya, the moment he says it is Shanta, the peaceful, that means the person, the Vasudeva, is not having any desire. And then Kutasthaya, Kutastha means unchanged. He never changes. Whether you are insulting the God or pleasing the God, praying the God, no changes, it's same. Kutasthaya, and then he says self-effulgent, saroshiche, self-effulgent. Saroshiche means no one is coming and showing it. Sometimes, if you go to the traditional Hindu temple, particularly in the southern region of India, they have not changed that tradition. It's a Garbha Mandir. So you have to enter. All other places are electricity is there, beautiful lights, decoration. Inside, only a small little lamp. And you have to be very careful to see the face of the god or goddess over there. And you have to go and lie down. It's very small, so you have to almost go bending your head, humble, sitting over there, and the moment you are entering from the outside, the glare, so for some time it is all blank, you cannot see anything. So wait, then your eyes become clean and you can see that the God is there and the little light, but you can see the face. Why this? Can't they provide a lamp? They can, but they won't. Why? Because that traditionally you are supposed to be very, very concentrated to see the God. And to see the God, you don't need any light. Sarosishe, because He is self-effulgent. You can see God because He is light. So this way they are giving on description. Salutation to you who has manifested at Shankarshana. The four names they will say. First is Vasudeva, then Shankarshana. Vasudeva is peaceful, unchanged and self-effulgent. Who is Shankarshana? The master of Ahamkara, I sense. Now the Vasudeva is the supreme God. From the Vasudeva, separation is coming. What is the separation? I. The moment the ahankara, the ego comes, I am separated from the God, the Sankarshana. And Shankarshana is very subtle and infinite. This I is very subtle. You will find that some people are all the time in India. If you go, they are all folding their hands and then bowing down. Oh, so humble people. Not at all humble. Only showing. So that is why ahankara is very subtle. Inside, such a weight is leaving. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said, if you can remove the ahankara, you are God yourself. But it is very, very difficult to remove the ahankara. So that is the last barrier for the monks also. They renounced everything. But the final thing, that ahankara, something or other will come. They won't get the final liberation because of the little ahankara. So one should be very, very careful. And then he is explaining again. Let me read these 35 and 36 verses. Nama Vishya Prabodhaya Pradumnaya Antaratmane Namo Namo Aniruddhaya Rishikesha Indriyatmane Nama Paramhamshaya Purnaya Nirvitatmane. I am breaking the slokas and reading just to make you an idea how it is. Salutation to you as the Pradumna. You know these names, mostly the Indians, they have heard in the Mahabharata, these are all famous characters. That Shankarshana, Pradyumna, he's the controller of the intellect. First is Vasudeva, the Supreme God. He's quiet, tranquil, peaceful. Second, Shankarshana, Ahamkara, ego. Why? He's separating from the Supreme God. Third, controller of the intellect, Pradyumna. Now from the Ahamkara, the I, intellect has come, the Buddhi. Then salutation to you as Aniruddha. The Shiva is telling, you are Aniruddha, you are Shankarshana, you are Pradyumna. Why? Because it's the same God has manifested in different forms. That you are the controller of the minds. Swarga apavarga dharaya nityam shuchishade namaha. Salutation to you because you are the gateway to heaven and salvation. Two words they have used. One is heaven, another is salvation. And this is the Hinduism. If you like to know about Hinduism, the Hinduism never considered the heaven as the highest. The heaven is a place where everything is good, nice. And it's very close to God, but that is not the ultimate. God is far away from that. So salvation, mukti, heaven is also a desire. Most of the people, majority of the people, they only have this desire. This I have enjoyed. Now, oh God, please be kind on me so that after death I can go to heaven. Why? There also I can enjoy. Here I have enjoyed, there also I should. So this way, this is the desire of enjoyment. I am offering the pranam and paying respect to the God. Why? He has given me everything over here, I am satisfied, good. And for the next, heaven. That is not the ultimate. God will take you to heaven. You will go to heaven because of your good deed. But that is temporary. Again you have to come back. Because anything that you are achieving through the karma, through the work, temporary. And what is permanent? Revelation. That is not karma. We are doing the japa, taking the name of God, or doing charity, doing this, doing that, all karma. And ultimately with those things, what happened? Mind become completely free from desire. And when that mind become completely free from desire, there is no I sense. The desireless means I sense, no I sense. When you are completely free from the I sense, what remains? You. And that is the Atman. So that is the ultimate of the Vedanta. But Vedanta approaching through the Dvaita. Here he says, you are the gateway of heaven and also salvation. Both are you. So Vaishnava scholars who are dualist Vedantin. You know in Vedanta there are three. The Vedanta, the end part of the Veda, but Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita and Advaita. They are dualist Vedantin. They considered the Supreme Brahman as Vasudeva. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, whom you mention as Brahman, I call that as Mother. I want to call what is that to you? If you don't like, you don't. But I like to call the Brahman as Mother. So they said, this is the Vasudeva, the ultimate knowledge of the Veda. Then they explain the creation as the four parts of the Vasudeva. Creation and four parts of the Vasudeva. What is that? First is Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Paramatman. Param means highest, Atman means the soul, and also the Para Prakriti, again the highest nature. Second, Shankarshana. Who are the Shankarshana? The beings. In Sanskrit it is called Jiva, the beings. And in the being, what is the speciality? Mana, the mind, that is Pradyumna. This is the terminology only, they are just giving the name, Pradyumna. So the mind, the Mana. Why Mana? Because this is the mind which is reflected On the mind only reflected the Atman. So mind becomes very active, as if conscious. The consciousness is reflecting on the mind and giving us everything, all activities. So mind is going out, collecting the information and making all different difficulties. And who is finally? This mind, all these impressions coming where? Ego. What is that ego? Aniruddha. So Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. The four names they have given because they were very famous. So people will understand that. They may forget if you say the Mana, Buddhi, so they have given in this way. So what we should do? From the lower strata, we have to go to the upper. We have to go on from the Aniruddha to Pradyumna, Pradyumna to Shankarshana, Shankarshana to Vasudeva. How we can do that? By charity, by scriptural study, by holy company and devotion to the Supreme Truth, God. One can get rid of ego, the circle of buha. They say buha means, in ancient time, when they used to fight, they used to, in the war, they used to have different type of circles. The soldiers, they'll be trained in a nice way, in a circle, so that from there only, they can fight, one after another. This is called buha. Buha means the circle. Actually, the designing the soldiers in the war field, this buha, first is the Aniruddha. What is that Aniruddha? Ego. And second is to purify the mind. When the ego gone, what happened? Purifying the mind. So second is the Pradyumna. And third comes, understand the nature of the Prakriti. This Prakriti is always changing. If we understand it truly, you will see that you will become peaceful. Why I am just having this? Because all these things are changing. I don't need anything. So that understanding of the nature of the Prakriti, that is called Shankarshana. And the moment you can do that, it becomes Vasudeva. And who is this Vasudeva? He is the Ishvara, the God, Bhagavan. Vasudeva Sarvam. He is the each and everything. Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. That type of understanding, this God is everything and He is this Vasudeva, that clear understanding is very, very rare. And he said this Vasudeva is having the 6 qualities. First is knowledge, jnana. Second is Shakti, power. Bala, spiritual strength. Aishwarya, all sorts of wealth. Then the Virya, tremendous strength in the mentally, and the Teja. Teja means, if you don't have the Virya and Teja, you cannot practice spirituality. Very difficult. Because so many people will come, there are temptations. And you have to go beyond the temptations. People are coming and offering you so many things. You have to go beyond that. It is not so easy. I told you, in Andaman, I was in that temptation. There was not a single farthing and 50 orphan boys. I was becoming mad how to feed these 50 children. And suddenly one person sent me 3 or 4, I have forgotten, food, big bags, suitcases, very big. And they told only keep it for a few days. Then afterwards, we will give you one suitcase full of money, $1,000, the bills, everything packed. I don't think that, I don't know how much actually money was, but it was lot of money. Only if I had said yes, I could get that money, a problem was solved, I could make the big temple, I could make this and that. Next day I was thinking how to send someone to market because I was not having any money. And this temptation came in the evening. I said no, because even if we die, we will pay, but never accept this type of money. Actually, what happened, in our country, sometimes the rate, they say, the people will go from the IRS, that type of economics or this thing, they will go, the police will go, the one person, they doubted he is having uncounted money, and he was having, so he sent it to me, thinking no one will come to me, then no one will doubt me, so the money will be saved. That was all right for him, thinking to save his own money. But what about me? I was so hungry and the food was there. I had to restrain myself. How it is possible? This is Birja and Teja. And who can give you that Birja? Who can give you that Teja? Only God. So that's why if a true devotee constantly praying to God, then the Shiva, he is singing the glory of the Vasudeva. This Rudra Gita ultimately says the God is one, but only we are calling in different names. And the God is the source of everything. You can call it as a Brahman, you can call it as a Vasudeva, you can call it as a Rudra, and whatever, it is only the same. And for you, what actually you should do? You have to practice austerity. What is that austerity? Controlling your senses. The senses are constantly taking you out. So you have to control those senses. How you can control? With what source? Power? God again. So like a child, afraid, mother is shouting, yelling, and the child will go and hug the mother only. Because he knows that mother can only save me. A similar way, we should also go back to God and say, give me the strength, give me the power. Tejosi, Tejamayi Dehi, there is a prayer. Give me that Teja, give me that supreme power so that I can deny this world and I only can understand you and you alone. So this is the teaching of the Rudra Gita. Thank you very much. Now let us chant this mantra. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Divyai Savai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Nabidu Surasuragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Today is the Tithi Puja of Swami Premananda Ji. He is the direct disciple of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. We don't do much of rituals, but we remember him and his wonderful deeds. Bhagavan Sri Krishna used to say that he is the purity in the human form. There is so much purity, and we have seen two things. love and unselfishness in him. What is the one example of love? The people, they used to go in a country boats, just by the side of the Belur, there's a Ganga flowing. So people used to go, poor people, the whole day they are going on rowing the boat, heavy boat. The owners of the boat never thought about those people, the boatmen. But the Swami used to sit on the bank, to say, hey, come here, stop the boat for some time, take some food. Other people used to say, but you don't know them, why you are feeding them? Can't you see they are hungry? They cannot row the boat. So what is there? We can give that love. And without anything, without expecting anything. Sometimes, of course, he used to say, I don't give food, I give prasada. So the prasada, which has been sanctified by the God, that I give to them, so they also in their next life will become devotee. That was one. And he was so popular. The purity that attracts people. So he was very popular. So all people used to go to him only. And the Raja Maharaj, he was very good looking. The two things people always attract is the good looking. He was very, very good looking. The Premanandaji. The people used to go to him. But the Raja Maharaj was not having that good look, and moreover, he used to shun the company of the people. And he was the president. Swami Vivekananda called him and said, and he was by age senior. The Vivekananda called him Baburam Da. Da means in Bengali, the senior brother. Brother, you should not give any initiation and you should not mix with people. Whoever comes to you, you should direct them to the Raja. Raja means Swami Brahmananda. He never said, why people are coming, why are you jealous? He never said, okay, no problem. Then onwards, without any hesitation, whoever used to come, used to direct them to the Maharaj. There was no selfishness. So what is purity? Love and unselfishness. This is the embodiment. This is Swami Premananda. Thank you.